The sun dipped low behind the dense canopy of the ancient forest, casting long shadows that twisted and stretched like living things. Lila had been wandering this part of the wilderness for hours, the unfamiliar terrain thick with creeping vines and towering trees, their roots tangled like giant serpents beneath her feet. She'd set out to find the legendary silver bloom, a rare flower said to possess healing powers, but now the forest seemed intent on keeping her. Her heart pounded as the vines began to writhe, almost imperceptibly at first, brushing against her legs like the fingers of a ghost. She tried to shake them off, but they clung tighter, weaving around her ankles, then spiraling upwards like living chains. Panic clawed at her throat. No, no, no. Let me go. Lila struggled, but the vines tightened with alarming speed, lifting her off the ground. Her feet dangled uselessly as the greenery coiled around her torso and arms, binding her like a prisoner. The forest was swallowing her whole, and no one could hear her. She tried to scream, but her voice was muffled by the thick, pulsating leaves. The silver bloom, if it existed, was nowhere in sight. The vines seemed to mock her, their slow, deliberate movement ensuring she couldn't escape. She was utterly trapped. Miles away, in the nearby village of Oakridge, a young botanist named Finn was packing his gear for a night research trip. Finn was known for his curious nature and quiet demeanor. Unlike most villagers who feared the forest's strange stories, Finn was fascinated by it. He believed the forest held secrets that could change their understanding of nature. Before he left, his grandmother handed him a small, weathered journal. "This belonged to your grandfather," she said softly. "He warned about the forest's magic. If you hear the forest call, don't ignore it." Finn smiled nervously but pocketed the journal. He had no idea how soon those words would matter. Back in the forest, Lila's vision blurred as the vines dragged her deeper beneath the canopy, away from the fading light. Just as despair threatened to consume her, she noticed something strange. The vines, while restraining her, pulsed with a faint, greenish glow, almost like they were alive in more ways than one. Summoning the last of her strength, Lila closed her eyes and focused on the faint memory of her grandmother's words. "Nature listens when you speak from the heart." She whispered a desperate plea into the thick air. "Please, someone, help me." The vines paused. For a moment, everything stilled. Finn was hiking deeper into the forest, guided by strange whispers that only he seemed to hear. He clutched the old journal, its pages filled with cryptic notes about the forest's spirit and warnings of an ancient protector. The final entry read, "When a soul is trapped by the forest's grasp, only one who listens with heart and mind can free them. The forest does not harm, it only tests." Finn's footsteps faltered as he reached a small clearing. There, suspended in the air and entwined in glowing vines, was Lila. Her wide eyes locked with his, pleading silently. "Hold on." Finn called, though he wasn't sure she could hear him. He moved cautiously, the vines reacting to his presence, tightening their grip as if warning him away. Finn remembered the journal's words and stopped fighting. Instead, he knelt down and spoke gently. "I'm here. I want to help you, but I have to understand." The vines pulsed stronger, and Finn felt a warmth spread through his fingers where they brushed against the greenery. He closed his eyes, reaching out with all his heart to the forest itself. The whispering grew louder, like 1,000 voices speaking in unison, yet calm and inviting. The vines loosened slightly. Finn opened his eyes and reached toward Lila's hands, which were barely moving. Slowly, carefully, he traced the vines, murmuring words of respect and peace. "I don't want to hurt you, forest. She's not a threat." The vines began to unwind, responding to his tone. One by one, they slid away from Lila's skin like gentle snakes retreating to their lair. Lila gasped as she was lowered to the forest floor, her legs weak but free. Tears of relief streamed down her face as she looked at Finn. "Thank you," she whispered, voice trembling. Finn smiled, brushing dirt from his knees. You're safe now. But why were you trapped? Lila shook her head. I don't know. I was just looking for the silver bloom. Finn frowned. The forest, it's alive, in a way. It protects something, and maybe it tests those who enter. The pair stood, the vines retreating into the shadows as if satisfied. Together, they ventured further into the clearing, where a soft silver light shimmered. In the center stood the silver bloom, its petals glowing faintly under the moonlight. Lila reached out and touched the flower gently. A soothing warmth spread through her fingers, and she knew the tales were true. Why do you think the forest trapped me? She asked. Finn considered the journal and the forest's strange behavior. Maybe it wanted to see if you could respect it. If you understand that nature isn't something to be taken lightly. Lila nodded slowly. I was greedy. I wanted to take the bloom to heal my village, but I didn't think about the cost. Finn smiled kindly. Sometimes, the forest protects itself by teaching us humility. As dawn broke, Lila and Finn made their way out of the forest, the vines now silent and still. The village of Oakridge welcomed them back with awe and relief. Lila carried the silver bloom carefully, its healing power already restoring strength to those in need. News of their journey spread quickly, and the villagers began to treat the forest with newfound reverence, listening to its silent whispers rather than fearing it. Epilogue. Weeks later, Finn returned to the forest, journal in hand. He knelt at the base of the ancient trees and whispered a promise. I will protect your secrets and listen with respect. Together, we will learn from each other. The forest responded with a gentle rustle of leaves, and somewhere deep within, the vines pulsed softly, alive, watchful, but no longer threatening. Lila and Finn had discovered that sometimes, to be truly free, one must first be trapped and learn to listen.